Good evening. The City of Crescent City Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, June 25, 2025, at 6 p.m. will now come to order. At this time, we will have our roll call.
Brad Green.
Here.
Kenyatta Hardy.
Here.
Dan Dodge.
Here.
Robert Scher.
Here.
City Manager Derek Martin.
Here.
City Planners Mark Corrett. And
Here.
Rebecca Cottle. Here. And Chair Veronica Glover.
Here. Next item on our agenda is approval of minutes. Have everybody had an
Madam
opportunity?
Chair, if I may add,
Yes.
the minutes were not ready to give to you prior to this evening. So you have them for review, whether you have time this evening or next meeting to approve.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, we will move to our new business. Crescent City Fish Camp LLC.
Would you like me to begin?
Yes, please.
Okay, for the record, I'm Mark Corrett, planner. We're gonna do this, as a reminder, we're gonna do this the way we've done other presentations of these types. You have two items here before you. One is a comprehensive plan amendment, and the other one is a rezoning. They're both for the development of the same property. So we're gonna talk about them, describe them together. You can hold one hearing for both these items, but you will have to take individual votes on each item separately, as we've done before in the past. As a reminder, the rezoning is a quasi-judicial matter, so the process associated with that is, first of all, disclosing if you've had any outside contact. You're supposed to make your decision based on the testimony that's presented here or the written testimony that's presented here to you in the meeting. So if you've had any outside contacts, you should disclose them early in the meeting. And you'll have a presentation from staff, which Rebecca will be giving. You will then have an opportunity to hear from the applicant, and then you open up to members of the public. The applicant needs to be given an opportunity to rebut anything that might be said in the public. So the applicant, gets the last word before you guys close all that off and make your own deliberations. Obviously, you can ask questions for everybody, but once you close the public hearing, in theory, you guys make the decision.
Good evening, this is a request from Crescent City Fish Camp LLC.
Can you, please give us your name,
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Rebecca Cottle, it's at Bowman Associates,
address, please?
300 Interchange Boulevard, Ormond Beach.
Thank you.
Tonight, we're reviewing a request from Crescent City Fish Camp LLC for a small-scale amendment to the future land use map and associated rezoning for a 15-acre property consisting of 4 parcels located at 100 Grove Avenue. A portion of the site is currently designated commercial, with the remaining area designated residential medium density. And the request is to change the future land use designation for the entirety of the property to commercial to allow an expansion of the existing Crescent City Fish Camp RV resort that's currently located on the north side of Grove Avenue. In addition, the rezoning request is to rezone the property from commercial and MR1 multifamily residential to planned unit development to allow for the short-term rental and RV use. And I do want to clarify that the development agreement for this PUD, the final version that you're reviewing tonight, is at the very end of your packet. So there were some changes between the development agreement that's at the beginning of the packet that was submitted with the application and the one at the end. The main change being the marina was removed from the development agreement. So the applicant is no longer requesting a marina with the expansion. I also want you to note that in the development agreement, the applicant is requesting for 74 accommodations, but currently the site plan shows 58. So if the application were to be reviewed and approved tonight, and with council, and they came back with the site plan and wanted to do more than 58, they would have to modify their site plan. A large portion of the site will also be dedicated to conservation, and the applicant has indicated that there is a path that will remain usable to residents. I'm available for any questions.
So you're changing from the original 58 to the 74 sites?
In their development agreement document, there's a maximum of 74 accommodations. Their site plan currently only shows 58, so in the future, if they were to actually propose 74, they would have to come back and revise the plan.
Thank you for the clarification.
So this page on the very back of this is the final site plan
For the development
to
agreement,
develop.
yes, obviously they'll come back with a more detailed plan if this is approved.
It shows I understand the zoning to the south side of this is SR1A, is that correct?
That's correct.
That is low residential.
Yes, single family.
I also see on here, it looks like a 10-foot vegetative buffer and a 6-foot minimum fence on that side
Yes, for screening purposes.
for a noise buffer, if you will, or okay. And that meets our land development code for buffer.
Yes.
Are you done with your presentation?
I am, unless you have any questions.
Thank you. Is there a recommendation?
Staff recommends approval of both the comp plan amendment and the rezoning.
Thank you.
So correct me if I'm wrong, this piece of property before was commercial and multifamily or
Yes,
medium density?
it's 4 different parcels, so a portion of it was already commercial, and then the remaining future land use was multifamily.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it was residential medium density, and the zoning was multifamily.
I remember there was a condo project or something that was supposed to go in years ago. And you said no marina, so there's not gonna be any impact on the wetlands at all?
Correct. The review was completely removed from both the plan and the development agreement.
And define, would you please define short-term rentals?
Less than 30 days,
So nightly up to 30 days?
yes.
Thank you.
It talks about either doing it in phases or in a one phase, if you will. What are we looking at here? Are we looking at multi-phases? Are we looking at doing it all at once or?
The development agreement has language to allow for phasing, but at this point, the applicant is proposing to just construct it all at one time.
So just so you understand, so they could come in for a site plan that would be a smaller portion of this. The agreement does allow them to do that.
And I may be getting ahead of of this item, but I assume that the site is serviced by city waste and water
Yes, they will be connecting to central utilities.
and natural gas,
Yes.
and city gas, I mean. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I thought it was very thorough and had all the information in there, so I have no
Very good.
questions at this time.
I have one small detail, and again, it's small, but on the concerning bald eagles nests, there's one on just opposite to the southern shore of Lake Stella. And on the map, it lists it, but it doesn't state that it's active.
I believe you're looking at the environmental report, is that correct?
It's the bald eagle and wading bird rookery map.
Yeah, so that information is part of the environmental assessment that was prepared and submitted. That information comes from from the federal government, so we don't have specific knowledge as to that nest.
Well, that's why I want to volunteer that knowledge, that it is active and has been productive and was
Yeah.
productive this year. It's a small detail, but
Well, I do want to point out though that the way bald eagles nests are regulated, it has to do with how active they are, and then there's sort of bans outside of that where you're allowed to do construction. This property is way outside of any of those bans.
exactly, I understand that, but as a member of the Audubon, I'm to make sure that we all understand it's an active nest, and it is a distance away.
Yeah.
So, thank you,
Okay.
thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay. Thank you. At this time, we will, open,
You're from the applicant.
from the applicant, okay.
Good evening, everyone. Frank Andrew Garcia, the owner of Crescent Fish Camp. Lovely to see you all. Thanks for being here. Just one quick clarification.
Excuse me, can you, for the record, can you state
My name
your name and your address, please?
and address.
Yes.
Address of the property where I reside.
Where do you reside?
So it's Andrew Garcia, 4630 Shepherd's Drive, Atlanta, Georgia. I just wanted to just give a little bit of background, and some detail on the property. It's already stated that, this is an expansion of an existing, fish camp, RV resort, campground, Crescent Fish Camp. We took ownership of Crescent Fish Camp in 2022, and we've spent the past several years working to revamp and rebuild the area, in and around the campground. And we've enjoyed our time in Crescent City, and we believe in the area and everything that's going on, and we're super excited to be here, and, we're looking forward to hopefully taking the next step, in the city and county. Because we've had an excellent experience. Quick clarification, because the number of sites was mentioned, I think the purpose there was to have a max potential density for future site plan approval. But the site plan that's in your packet, this is what we anticipate, barring any specific feedback from the committee, to be the final site plan. Now, there will be future permitting meetings.
Yeah, there'll be a more detailed, I mean, we're referring to it as a site plan. Really what this is a concept plan.
Correct.
And there'll be a more detailed site plan and construction drawings that will get reviewed by the town's development review committee, and then brought forward here for you guys to approve.
Thank you.
And then we did have a detailed environmental report, from a third party, and there were, bald eagles were mentioned, there was no sign of bald eagles nest in the vicinity of the property, and no other environmental concerns were highlighted at that point. And we do, marinas were also mentioned, just a couple clarifications, I was over there taking notes. There was never any official plan as part of the proposal for a marina. It was included, again, to preserve flexibility for future use, but that's not something we anticipate pursuing at this time.
Thank you.
Any questions I can answer from anybody on the committee?
I think everything, I had an opportunity to read through it, and any questions that I had was in the report, so that was very thorough.
Great.
Question, Mr. Dodge?
Probably not, but give me a moment, I'm trying to read this. No, I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Now we will have, public comments, please. If anyone would like any comments, come to the podium and please state your name and your address. At this time, we have no public comments. So we will, proceed to make a motion. Make a motion.
I move that we approve the small scale comprehensive plan amendment.
I'll second that.
Okay, it has been properly motioned and second that we approve the small scale comprehension plan amendment. We will now take a vote.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Ms. Hardy?
Aye.
Mr. Dodge?
Aye.
Mr. Scherer?
Aye.
Ms. Glover?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So our next item on the agenda will be the rezoning. So Mr. Brett, if you could.
We don't have an additional presentation, the presentation is
Okay.
combined, and depending upon how you wish to do it, as I said, you could combine the public hearing and then vote on each of these separately. If you do want to open it back up specifically on this item, certainly you can do that as well.
Then we don't have to. Okay, so,
And that would be changing the zoning to the PD zone.
It changes to the PD.
okay,
I'll make a motion. That we change the zoning from its current zoning to the PD classification as presented.
Second.
it has been properly moved, properly motioned and second that we change the rezoning to PD.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Ms. Hardy?
Aye.
Mr. Dodge?
Aye.
Mr. Scherer?
Aye.
Ms. Glover?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. So, this, other concern, this meeting is adjourned. That was good.
Nice to meet you.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's.
I anticipate we're gonna be a little longer.
I did as well.